special relationship. Many of our citizens live there in the Bahamas. Many of our citizens enjoy the beauty of the Bahamas. And we have always done so with the greatest of friendship, love, and affection. So as Bahamas celebrates its 50th anniversary, independence anniversary, they do so with the full love of the Guyanese people. We wish you continued success. We hope that the lives of the people of Bahamas and the government of Bahamas will continue to be uplifted, and we wish you nothing but the best as we continue to face the challenges of the future. We know Bahamas will be part of a positive story to the world.
Well, what about me?
What about you, what?
Well, I thirsty too, you know.
You want to see all the water out there?
Well, why you don't give me your water, and then you go try and drink that salt water?
You crazy, eh?
I ain't the one talking to a dog, you know.
Ain't nobody can drink salt water.
Then why you won't give it to me? All dogs need fresh, cool water and sufficient shelter from the sun all year round, especially on the beach and during the hot summer months.
Summers are very hot here in the Bahamas, so please make sure all pets have ample, cool, fresh water in proper containers and sufficient shelter from the sun, even on the beach. And make sure all dog houses and kennels have proper ventilation. Let's make it Bahamian to be humane.
This message has been brought to you by the Bahamas Humane Society and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Attention, college freshmen! ZNS wants to send you to college with some great prizes. Just WhatsApp a 10-second video of you holding the name of your college or university to 557-3488 by August 21st. Include your name and you are entered to win really big. For more details, go to www.znsbahamas.com/giveaways.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, a North Abaco MP charged with 5 separate counts in the nation's capital. Also, oil particles discovered on the southeastern shore of Grand Bahama. And a local school in the east set to reopen for the first time since Hurricane Dorian. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, the Magistrates Court in the nation's capital was the center of attention today as North Abaco MP and former Parliamentary Secretary Kirk Cornish was arraigned on rape and assault charges. Cornish, 48, is accused of sexually assaulting and threatening a 36-year-old Abaco woman. Pai from our network station joins us live with the details.
Thank you, Raven. The 48-year-old member of parliament for North Abaco and resident of the area, Kirk Cornish, you can see him here wearing a light gray dress suit, blue shirt, and a necktie, stood before acting Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley. In court, he was arraigned with 2 counts of rape, 2 counts of assault, and a single count of threats of death. It is alleged that on 2 occasions, March 25th and April 4th of this year, Cornish had sex with the same woman without her consent. Further, it is alleged that on 2 separate occasions, January 20th and March 25th, again of this year, Cornish committed assault against the same woman. And on April 4th of this year, the parliamentarian reportedly threatened the life of that same woman. Cornish was not required to enter a plea to the charge and was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. One of his attorneys, Owen Wells, who took the lead in Wednesday's proceedings, advised the court that the defense would immediately apply for bail at the Supreme Court. At the higher court, Cornish appeared before Justice Gregory Hilton. Bail was subsequently granted in the amount of $9,000 with two suretors. The PLP MP has to report to the North Abaco Police Station once per week. The matter is expected to proceed by the serving of a voluntary bill of indictment, which is set for October 17th. Now tune into the Bahamas Tonight at 7 this evening for more details on today's court arraignment of North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Thanks, Corvell. Well, late last evening, Member of Parliament for North Abaco, Kirk Cornish, tendered his resignation as Parliamentary Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister in Abaco, which was requested and accepted by the nation's leader. Now tonight, residents on the island are left wondering what happens next. Our Rumiko Knowles is live on the ground with reactions from residents on the impact of this resignation. Rumiko?
Well, Raven, today I visited the office of the Prime Minister here in Abaco and walked into the very office that the North Abaco MP, Kirk Cornish, worked out of prior to his resignation. I spoke to a few of the staffers. However, there were no senior official on hand to offer a comment as to how the resignation will impact their office as well as Abaco's economy. But I did manage to speak to a few men downstairs who say that the resignation has left them with one question.
Who is going to replace him will be the question, the answers for everything. And if it's not somebody like him, then we're in trouble, because he's somebody you can call on at any time. He's a people's person. He listens to you, and he gets to work the job done. Respected.
Local government committee member Gilbert Davis worked alongside the North Abaco MP at the Water and Sewage Company for over 2 decades before he entered politics. Watch his reaction as he found out that the MP was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections following his arraignment on Wednesday morning and was later granted bail by the Supreme Court.
Say what? I just got a few minutes ago. Jesus Christ. Well, I didn't know that.
Gilbert emphasized that the resignation would undoubtedly trigger a spiraling impact on Abaco. He expressed his belief that the departure of the North Abaco MP could potentially set off a chain reaction affecting various aspects of the community's progress and stability.
Right now, everything goes through his office, and there's a lot of stuff that need to be done, like this day-to-day operation. The stuff them can be hold up right now. And Abaco done right now need to be fully rebound and stuff like that. And right now, him gone, no representative inside the office, it ain't gonna be good for Abaco right now.
The turmoil surrounding the resignation has prompted a call for unity, urging citizens to come together and work towards a brighter future that transcends political affiliations.
Because it's politics, it's so hard for us as Bahamians to really unite together because of this thing. But just rough, man. I don't really like what's going on. Right? Because Kaik is not that type of person.
It's politically driven, and we need to stop this garbage of who you are. It's what you have done. What he has done stepping down is enough, but I think, and that's my opinion.
Now, Raven, this entire ordeal has left residents of Abaco with mixed emotions. While some are calling for justice, others are calling for unity. Live from Abaco for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Rumiko Knowles. Back to you.
Thanks, Rumiko. Now, based on the Prime Minister's release on the resignation of Cornish as Parliamentary Secretary, the nation's leader reassured the people of North Abaco that efforts to build opportunities and relief in their communities are on the way and will face no interruptions. And on to news from the court. A man accused of the murder of Omar Pench was back before the court on a separate matter yesterday. Jamaican national Rick Matthew Carsby appeared in court number 3 of the Magistrates Court before Magistrate Laquay Lang and pled guilty to 1 count of possession of unlicensed firearm and was sentenced to 3 years at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. He also pled guilty to 1 count of possession of ammunition and was sentenced to 12 months at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. His sentences are expected to run concurrently. Now, Crosby is also expected to return to court to answer to the murder charge of Grand Bahama resident Omar Omar Penn, who was gunned down outside a Freeport gaming establishment 2 years ago. The case is awaiting a voluntary bill of indictment to be officially transferred to the Supreme Court. And in other news, oil particles are showing up in the water and on beaches on the southeastern shore of Grand Bahama, ruining vacation for many visitors and leaving business owners on beach up in arms. As Simone Davis tells us, there is an appeal tonight for someone to be held responsible for this disturbing situation. Here's that report.
We spoke to several vacationers who went for a swim, but instead of enjoying the beautiful Bahamian waters, they were suddenly covered in oil, turning their beach experience into a stressing situation.
The oil and the water was coming up and like all over the body, and it's like sticky. Like I got it on my hair too. Actually, I don't think I would go to another beach.
While it may have been a setback for those visitors, they were determined not to let it ruin their vacation. However, one visitor expressed his concern for the Bahamian wildlife.
Well, I mean, we're going on a family trip, going to enjoy the water, enjoy the jet skis. We go in the water and we just have oil on all over our feet, all over our legs. Can't put our shoes on.
And how does that make you feel?
Awful. I mean, we saw a lot of wildlife out there. We saw starfish. You know, we can't imagine how much that damages the living life out there, you know? It's a core part of the ecosystem.
The consequences of this oil spill are far-reaching, impacting both the tourist experience and the local economy. CEO of the Blue Dinghy Beach Club, Louis Mizik, is claiming that the oil spill is negatively impacting his business.
This experience now with the guests is going to impact our business negatively. There's got to be some sort of a liability, a cost attached to something like this, because it's going to cost us business, it's going to cause us a negative experience.
Now, Raven, Mizik is calling for those responsible to make a greater effort to clean the beach, or he would be forced to take legal action. Live from the Blue Dinghy Beach Club for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis. Back to you, Raven.
Thanks, Simone. Well, the Lucaya Service Company Limited is a part of a joint task force consisting of the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection, the Government Port Department, and the Grand Bahama Port Authority's Environmental Department, which is continuing the investigation into the recent appearance of oil residue impacting coastal shorelines in the Lucaya, Freeport, and government areas. LUSCO releasing a statement today noting that they are all working together to determine the initiating cause of this incident, and it remains a high priority of the task force. The responding agencies, with assistance from private citizens and non-governmental agencies, have enacted remediation protocols in conjunction with the relevant environmental agencies to ensure the swift and proper remediation of oil deposits. The task force is systematically checking beaches island-wide as they continue to monitor impacted shorelines. The public is being asked to exercise caution when visiting the beaches, especially with pets. The statement also notes that residents should allow the task force to conduct their investigations and carry out the necessary remediation works safely and quickly. Meantime, the discovery of the oil particles comes 1 week after an oil spill at the Buckeye Oil Terminal on the southern shoreline of Grand Bahama. Buckeye Partners releasing a statement today on their cleanup effort to date. Shashina Farquharson has the latest.
The statement reads, Buckeye Partners continues its robust containment, recovery, and remediation initiatives aimed at protecting the environment following the release of fuel oil at its Buckeye Bahamas Hub Marine Terminal on Wednesday. These initiatives are guided by Buckeye's ongoing environmental monitoring, including systematic aerial surveys and on-the-ground beach patrols. Buckeye noting in the statement that the company is also aware that petroleum-based residue has been found on certain area beaches. While the source of the material is currently unknown, the statement says that they are actively investigating and have initiated cleanup efforts on local beaches, as well as continuous monitoring across the area in coordination with other stakeholders. The statement concludes, we remain in regular contact with the government of the Bahamas, as well as other local officials, and will continue to provide regular updates. Buckeye says that they are grateful for the privilege to operate in the Bahamas, and top priority is community workforce, and environmental safety. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shoshina Roll-Farquharson. In news from the education beat, students from McLeanstown and Sweetings Key were forced to take an hour commute or longer to attend school in Freeport since Hurricane Dorian ravaged the local school. The process oftentimes frustrating for parents and students. Well, tonight we are happy to report that the Ministry of Education has announced the reopening of the McLeanstown school, which is now under renovation. Jolanda Thompson-Everest has more in this report.
Good news for the community of Sweetings Key and McLeanstown. District Superintendent of Education for Grand Bahama, Bimini, and the Keys, Ivan Butler, expressing that they have heard the cries of the parents sharing their challenges regarding their kids traveling afar to attend school. Well, now that is about to change as the former McLeanstown Junior High School is about to reopen.
The Ministry of Education have heard the concerns of the residents of McLeanstown, Sweetings Key, and the residents of East End Grand Bahama as it relates to those small children traversing to Freeport for school. And so in an effort to assist those parents, we are in the process of renovating the McLeanstown Junior High School, and it is anticipated that that school will be available for August or shortly thereafter.
Butler says that they are looking forward to the school's reopening, noting that they understand the hassle of children traveling back and forth.
We know that the residents have to travel for almost an hour and a half every day back and forth, and so if we can meet the needs of providing quality education in that area, then one, children don't have to get up so early. Two, then they don't have to travel so far.
Now the district superintendent says that he is mindful of the concerns of the parents, but he says he doesn't want them to focus too much on the attire.
We'll just be happy to have a school in the eastern end of the island that could accommodate students. So as it relates to book lists or uniforms or PE kit, those things are secondary at this point. It's critical that we do our best to try and meet the deadline to get the school open for this coming term.
An official announcement on the reopening date is anticipated to come out this week, and Butler says that a new comprehensive school is up in the works. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
And the Grand Bahama Christian community preparing to lay a local pastor to rest this Sunday. Tonight, he's being remembered as a soldier in the Lord's Army. That story and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
You ask for it, you've got it. A new plant nursery, fully loaded with everything you need and extended hours. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Doctors Hospital is reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations in Freeport and 8 Mile Rock, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
I love competitions like the Battle of the Brains because it fosters positive competition and allows students to make friends with like-minded individuals, and it also allows them to display their mental capabilities as well.
As for why I like the Battle of the Brains, I think it's important for students who all share the same passion for academics such as math, science, all the STEM subjects to get together and connect. And Battle of the Brains allows us to do that.
Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
This is where it happens. Those moments that impact our lives. Giving you the information that you need this hurricane season. Wherever there is news, we're there.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A youth summer film camp making its return this year and sets the stage for young people to express themselves while acquiring new skills in a highly interactive environment. Here's that report. A number of youngsters gathering in the Bishop Michael Eldon School auditorium, eager to learn the fundamentals of acting, writing, and cinematography as the first day of the Cranston McDonald Productions Film Camp gets underway. Now in its second year, the stage has been set for students to glean all they can from locally and internationally recognized facilitators.
We're focusing on the 3 pillars of acting entertainment, which is stage acting, on-set acting, and voiceovers. And the technique that we're going to use is called the Meisner technique. And what it is just the repetitive technique that focuses on the partner, emotion, and listening to the partner. So we're getting the students to learn how to be in the moment, be present, and that is where authenticity takes place.
Today's highly interactive session saw breakout groups based on the participants' interests. Camera instructor Lemuel Bain says so far, so good, adding that he hopes to propel those involved into their creative journeys.
I'll be teaching the students things about camera just to get them up to speed on what's new in cinematography and in film because they aspire to be filmmakers. Good to just step in and just help the kids out and further their growth in the arts.
The camp will run for a 2-week duration and is the brainchild of noted producer and director Cranston McDonald. Ultimately, he says the goal is to give young people a legitimate platform to express themselves.
For some reason, it's almost like this is downplayed when it comes to acting. So we're actually trying to give them something, creative, taking it from the stage and putting it on the film, putting it on the screen, or putting it out in the streets.
In other news, the 5th installment of the Black Bottle Christmas is happening this December with the artist that started it all. Rick Ross is an internationally known top 10 artist, will be hitting the stage, and according to Clavon Duncombe, he believes this concert will be one for the books.
He's like the #2 influencer in the world right now, and our goal is to use his platform to give Freeport recognition to the world. I let them know that they could come to the Bahamas in the Christmas and enjoy a nice, clean, awesome event that we're putting a lot of effort in, a lot of resources. We actually is planning from January, which is unheard of. Our objective is not to cater to everybody. We actually trying to build our base of persons who we know would come out and enjoy themselves, come out who would behave themselves, come out who would spend where they need to spend. So basically, it's hard to cater to everybody, and we're not trying to. We're just going to put out our product, and who shows up, if they do, we just be happy and satisfied.
According to the promoter, tourists from Canada and the United States will be traveling for the event, which will be a great economic boost for the island.
It ain't even about the event. It's about what this community, how it's going to benefit off that event, not just us as the promoter. You're looking at airline tickets, hotel, Airbnbs, rental cars. We're looking at local businesses like clothing stores, shoe stores, jewelry stores. restaurants, bars, the list goes on, and the trickle effect is huge.
And finally, in news this evening, pastor of St. Peter's Baptist Church, Larry Wilchcomb, passed away suddenly on July 23rd. Tonight, the leaders of the Zion United Baptist Convention are remembering their colleague and friend. Araja Quant reports.
It's a blow, but we can't question God.
Pastor Paul Mullings and Pastor Elvis Burrows both coming together to speak on who they describe as a man of sterling character, Pastor Larry Wilchcomb.
He was one of those men of God, like Jesus would have said, he came not to be served, but to serve.
He was certainly a person, a man that I would describe as someone after God's own heart.
Larry Wilchcomb was the pastor of St. Peter's Baptist Church in West End for the last 12 years. The Grand Bahama Christian Council also releasing a statement on the late pastor, noting that he was a general in the army of the Lord. Pastor Mullings and Burrows describing his commitment to the community as unparalleled, while also speaking to his compassionate leadership, possessing the ability to balance discipline with understanding.
Our heart goes out to the family, because if I feel the way I feel, I can imagine his widow, Reverend Jane, and the children, how they feel. But we are overcomers. This too shall pass. And we grieve, yes, we grieve, but we grieve with a hope.
Pastor Larry Wilchcomb passed away on Sunday, July 23rd in his church. And when hearing of the news, Pastor Mullings says,
it was just, you know, it was hard. You know, it's just you know.
And although Pastor Wilchcomb's time on earth was cut short at the age of 67, Pastors Burrows and Mullings say his legacy will continue to resonate with the hearts of those he touched.
It's hard on all of us. Larry was a good man. Pastor Larry was a good man.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant. And stay with us. We will be back after this short break.
We all need to save. Save time, gas, and money. Shopping at Save More can help you do just that. Make us your first stop for all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. And the largest vitamin selection and over-the-counter relief products. Need diapers and other baby care items? First stop. The new section for makeovers, cosmetics, and beautiful jewelry will make you sparkle for that next special event. Save More Drugs, your more store.
The following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season. A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
If you're a bystander and you witness a vehicle accident involving a passenger, a power pole, and a downed power line, do not approach the accident scene. Stay in your car and call 919 for emergency medical assistance. Then call GB Power at 352-8411. So that they can disconnect the electricity from the accident site. Though persons may want to help, it's important to keep everyone away from the electrical equipment or from fallen wires. Rescue can only be attempted by a person trained to use special live line tools. If possible, talk to the passengers in the vehicle by yelling out. Encourage the passengers to avoid touching the car frame and not to move until help arrives. This message was brought to you by the Grand Bahama Power Company. reminding you that if it's down, it's dangerous.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your number one news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Well, our Facebook friend of the day is Reverend Dr. Elvis Burrows, who is celebrating a birthday today. We say thanks for always watching. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Raven Davis, but be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Years ago, a new era began. 50 years of a small country doing big things. Our faith, our people, and our values are the source of our strength. Together we share joy and survive the hardest times by leaning on each other. Now, as we confront a changing world, we need to grow stronger. That means standing up for ourselves, protecting our borders, investing in our family islands, growing more of what we eat at home, owning more of our economy, and above all, investing in our people. Lifting each other up, that's who we have always been. We know where we came from, so we know where we're going. Happy Independence, Bahamas. May God bless us all.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, MP charged. Afri-Exim's bank a $30 million loan. Demolition Day on Bay. And in sports, former coach needs help. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. North Abaco MP and now ex-parliamentary secretary Kirk Cornish making his first appearance in court today on rape and assault charges. Our Corval Python reports that after a visit to both the magistrate and Supreme Courts, the parliamentarian is tonight a free man.
The 48-year-old member of Parliament for North Abaco and resident of the area, Kirk Cornish, wearing a light gray dress suit, blue shirt, and a necktie, stood before Acting Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley. In court, he was charged with 2 counts of rape, 2 counts of assault, and a single count of threats of death. It is alleged that on 2 occasions, March 25th and April 4th of this year, Cornish had sex with the same woman without her consent. Further, it is alleged that on 2 separate occasions, January 20th and March 25th again this year, Cornish committed assault against the same woman. And on April 4th of this year, the parliamentarian reportedly threatened the life of that same woman. Cornish was not required to enter a plea to the charges and was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. One of his attorneys, Owen Wells, who took the lead in Wednesday's proceedings, advised the court that the defense would immediately apply for bail at the Supreme Court. At the higher court, Cornish appeared before Justice Gregory Hilton. Bail was subsequently granted in the amount of $9,000 with 2 suretors. The BLP MP has to report to the North Abaco Police Station once per week. And shortly after 1:30 Wednesday afternoon, Mr. Cornish had met and satisfied the court's requirements for bail, and he was once again a free man leaving the Bank Lane facilities. He and his legal team can now begin crafting his defense for what is likely to be a closely watched and intense trial. Family members, mainly his parents and brother, and a handful of friends and supporters were outside of the arraignment. PLP supporter Rick Forbes hoped that Cornish would be given a fair trial, and he reminded that he is entitled to the presumption of innocence.
I'm here to give my full support 100%. He's a good member from Abacos, and I'm a PLP, and he is innocent until proven guilty. That's all I could say. May God bless him, and he be okay with the case.
On Tuesday, Cornish was asked to step down from his post as a parliamentary secretary while he maintains his seat as a member of parliament. In a statement, the Prime Minister assured North Abaco residents that new efforts to build opportunities and relief in their communities are on the way and will not be interrupted. The matter is expected to proceed by the serving of a voluntary bill of indictment set for October 17th. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
Well, public response swift following Cornish's arraignment this morning. The general consensus: let justice run its course.
In society today, I feel like if you did the crime, you should pay the time.
A man is innocent until proven guilty. So I would think they need to pull it up, make sure that they've investigated all avenues and make sure it's just not, out of pure jealousy or whatever, but investigate, give the man an opportunity to be proven guilty.
When we in a position, we should live that. It don't leave a good reflection. Your name shouldn't be around.
We only human, and the law of the land still have to prevail, innocent until proven guilty. So, right, all I can say now, just let the law take its course.
Now that the parliamentary secretary's post has been left vacant in the office of the Prime Minister over in Abaco, the question now is the impact. Our Miko Knowles from our Northern Service has that angle.
Good evening, Bahamas, and thank you so much, Makushla. Earlier today, I visited the office of the Prime Minister here in Abaco and walked into this office, which is the very same office that the North Abaco MP worked out of prior to his resignation. I spoke to a few of the staff members. However, there was no senior official on hand to offer a comment as to how the resignation will impact their office as well as Abaco. But I did manage to speak to a few men who were downstairs who say that the resignation has left them with one question.
Who is going to replace him will be the question, the answers for everything. And if it's not somebody like him, then we're in trouble, because he's somebody you can call on at any time. He's a people's person. He listens to you, and he gets the job done. Respected.
Local government committee member Gilbert Davis worked alongside the North Abaco MP at the Water and Sewage Company for over 2 decades before he entered politics. Watch his reaction as he found out that the MP was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections following his arraignment on Wednesday morning and was later granted bail by the Supreme Court.
Say what? Jesus Christ. Well, I didn't know that.
Gilbert emphasized that the resignation would undoubtedly trigger a spiraling impact on Abaco. He expressed his belief that the departure of the North Abaco MP could potentially set off a chain reaction affecting various aspects of the community's progress and stability.
Right now, everything goes through his office, and there's a lot of stuff that need to be done, like this day-to-day operation. The stuff them can be hold up right now. And Abaco done right now need to be fully rebound and stuff like that. And right now, him gone, no representative inside the office, it ain't gonna be good for Abaco right now.
The turmoil surrounding the resignation has prompted a call for unity, urging citizens to come together and work towards a brighter future that transcends political affiliations.
Because it's politics, it's so hard for us as Bahamians to really unite together because of this thing. Just rough, man. I don't really like what's going on, right? Because Kaika's not that type of person.
It's politically driven, and we need to stop this garbage of who you are. It's what you have done. What he has done stepping down is enough, but I think, and that's my opinion.
Now, McCushla, the resignation has sparked mixed reviews, or mixed emotions rather, from residents here in Abaco. While some are calling for justice, others are calling for unity. Live from the government complex here in Abaco for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Back to you in studio.
Well, thanks, Ramiko. In other court news this evening, 36-year-old Lindsay Stryver of Georgia, who allegedly sought to have her husband killed in a foiled murder-for-hire plot in Abaco, appeared in the Supreme Court today. The Americans charged, along with her alleged co-conspirators, Bahamian's 28-year-old Terrence Bethel and 29-year-old Ferran Newbold. Now, police reportedly uncovered the alleged plot to kill her husband, Robert Stryver, in Abaco last month. The couple, who had filed for divorce, were visiting their residence on that island on July 16th when the plot was thwarted. The two male co-defendants were granted bail last Friday. Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson granted Stryver $100,000 bail. The trio was also ordered to surrender their travel documents, report to the nearest police station 3 times per week, adhere to an 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew, and be outfitted with an electronic monitoring device. Further, Stryver was ordered to stay within 100 feet of the virtual complainant. The case is attracting international headlines outside court today. There were members of the press from a number of foreign jurisdictions, including the United States and the UK. The matter will proceed via voluntary bill of indictment on October 5th. Well, in other news, the Prime Minister and his deputy learning more about the demolition of derelict buildings on Bay Street. Jimenita Swain joins us live with more details. Good evening, Jimenita.
Good evening, McCushla, and good evening, Bahamas. I'm coming to you live from the downtown area where we're just outside of one of 9 dilapidated buildings that has been marked for demolition. Now, this is an issue that the government has been talking about for some time now, addressing these buildings which are considered eyesores in the downtown area. Now, of course, joining me to provide a little bit more insight into that is, of course, the Deputy Prime Minister for Tourism, Investment, and Aviation.
Also to come, the latest on the Eminent Persons Group's mission to Haiti. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Has changed over the past 60 years, but at Commonwealth Bank, our mission to build lifelong relationships with our clients remains the same. Our customers are more than just a number. Our customers are our family, and together we create banking solutions that fit your unique needs. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
I always find new ways to connect. Even with those friends that are very, very far away. It doesn't matter who you are. What matters is sharing. Because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good.
We are New Life Natural Company Limited, and we have actually been in the community for now 13 years, serving in the health field. Our diets is probably one of the most poorest diets actually in the Caribbean, and we are really low in the world. as a result of our diet, we are actually inheriting all of these different diseases. So we need to kind of like shift the way how we eat and shift it to eating more healthier food. So we at New Life here, we are trying to change the paradigms. We are actually introducing tasty, healthy options. And so hopefully this SBDC initiative will actually create the awareness, help us to have an understanding of what we are doing, why we are doing it, and help us to begin to shift this paradigm of proper eating, proper dieting, and proper fitness. So our motto is eat well, be well, and let your food be your medicine.
For more information about the Fitness and Wellness Initiative, contact the SBDC at 461-7232.
Are you dreaming of the perfect summer getaway? Apply for a debt consolidation or personal loan to win an airline ticket to Paris, Miami, or New York. Win up to $2,500 in cash and more. For details, call 356-7764 for Nassau, 602-6811 for Freeport, 823-4374 for Abaco.
We do apologize for the technical difficulty. We return now to our Jiminita Swain, who's standing live on Bay for a demolition exercise. Jiminita?
Good evening, Makushla, and good evening, Bahamas. We're coming to you live from downtown. We're just up from Elizabeth Avenue. As we can tell you, there were 9 buildings in this vicinity that have been identified by the government to be demolished. They are, of course, considered eyesores. Now, joining me now is the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Chester Cooper, to fill us in on what actually will take place as early as tonight.
Beginning tonight, this building behind us is going to be demolished. And we are thankful to the owners, the Moxies. They've been very cooperative and very cordial about the process. And this is going to be the first one demolished tonight. We have 3 more lined up to be done this week, including the building across the street. There's been a lot of skepticism about our pronouncements about improving Bay Street, revitalizing Bay Street, and therefore we wanted to demonstrate some fairly quick action in terms of the demolitions. We have agreed with the owners that we will partner together to create green spaces, and certainly in the first 4 properties that we demolished, so some action should be starting here very shortly.
And how excited are you to see this come to fruition and also be in a collaborative approach with the owners? Because I know sometimes that can be a contentious situation, but like you said, it's so far been seamless, I think.
Seamless indeed. There's been a lot of talk about this project for decades. I am happy to be able to see something happening. I think our timing is right. The right time is right now to get the project done. We've started to do a lot of quick wins on Bay Streets with cleanup, planters, bus stops, benches, washdowns. We're working along with the Ministry of Health in relation to the vagrants and the police, doing a great job in helping us to manage the surrounding areas. But in terms of the demolitions, AMMC, Ministry of Works, have all been here today. We did a brief walkabout with the Prime Minister to show him some of the things that we're doing here. Senator Randy Roll has been diligent in terms of speaking with the stakeholders, the property owners, and I'm delighted that the first 4 of these demolitions is a very non-contentious process.
Thank you so much, TPM Cooper. As you heard, Makushla, as early as this evening, between tonight and tomorrow morning, this building, the Moxie building behind us, that's been here for some time, may be gone. But for now, I'm Jiminita Swain. Back to you in studio, Makushla.
Well, thanks, Jiminita. Meantime, the government successful in securing a multi-million-dollar loan agreement. Carla Palmer reports on the additional funding.
The deal all but sealed as the promise of a financial transaction takes root, and Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, anticipates taking hold of millions of dollars in loan from the African Export-Import Bank.
They made a commitment to lend our Bahamas Development Bank for onward lending $30 million, and I was pleased to hear this morning that is being advanced, and hopefully that we'll see the reality of that within the next few weeks.
During the meeting with stakeholders over the weekend at the office of the Prime Minister, Mr. Davis explained that the funds have been earmarked to advance small and medium enterprises throughout the country.
It is important that we recognize that
we need to have various sources of funding. The African Exim Bank becoming a new source, a lens to our varied options from which we can go to seek grant funding as well as infrastructural and other development funding. And so we're developing this relationship.
President and the chairman of the board of directors of the African Export-Import Bank, Dr. Benedict Oromar, admits that the bank has a targeted audience when it comes to lending funds.
We trust our people more. We are not going to say that our people are all too risky, as the traditional banks do. Because our people cannot be risky to us. So we will go to any transaction with an open mind. That is the big difference we made in the continent of Africa. That's the big difference we will make here.
Chairman of the Bahamas Development Bank, Senator the Honorable Quinton Lightburn, anticipates the funds helping to boost the economy.
The negotiations and discussions have been had with the African Exim Bank and the Bahamas Development Bank for quite some time, and so it's a very favorable perspective in terms of being able to secure funding for the Bahamas Development Bank to provide lending for businesses throughout the country in terms of trade, manufacturing, development, import, export, and everything that falls underneath the Bahamas Development Act of 1974. So these things are going very well. It's going real promising, and we're hopeful that definitely that things can be finalized very shortly to proceed and help the economy of the Bahamas.
The African delegation has since left the country, but not before Prime Minister Davis expressed his thanks for their assistance in the country's developmental goals. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Well, security imperative at this stage in volatile Haiti. Former Prime Minister and member of CARICOM's Eminent Persons Group is adamant of that much, having recently returned from the volatile island nation, rife with heavily armed gangs reportedly controlling parts of the country. The EPG is tasked with brokering talks with Haitian stakeholders in hopes of arriving at a solution that would lend to an environment that's safe enough for the return of constitutional order and ultimately elections. To push things along, Kenya, the Bahamas, Jamaica, and others recently agreed to put boots on the ground in Haiti.
The idea is that they would come and work within the context of the National Police Force and be a complementary group as opposed to a group driving security. So we have to wait. The Security Council has given the Secretary General 30 days to report back. And so when that report is done, and obviously we will have another discussion with him with a view to help him to mold that decision.
Christie's comments follow the EPG's own security concern, having arrived in Haiti last month.
Landed in Haiti. We met a contingent of Defense Force officers flown in at the instance of Prime Minister Davis to guarantee our safety insofar as one can guarantee safety. But it was a magnificent effort. They were very effective in terms of their representing and most certainly providing the security for us and representing the Bahamas.
Marcellus Hall joins us in studio with a check on what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
All right, thanks, Makushla. Well, coming up in sports for you this evening, the Minister of Sports says our basketball team ready to go. We'll give you details on that and so much more just ahead in sports.
This portion of the you can find it all at Builders Mall. From cement, lumber, block, plumbing, and electrical to paint, lights, vanities, and tiles. Not to mention all the tools you could possibly need to get the job done. Say if you're starting a major project, adding the finishing touches, or just doing some repair or rental work around the house. FYP, the Paint Center, and Tile King can help. Stop by or call 601-8453. Located 69 Wolf Road, Nassau. You can find it all at Builders Mall. Building, painting, and tiling, the Bahamas.
Hey, Mom. Can you look after Kaylee?
Sorry. I'll be out for a while doing my home and car insurance.
What? You know there's a newer way, right?
A new way?
Where have you been? Look, go to newerinsurance.com, log in, get your quote, buy your insurance, done. You can even use it to manage a claim.
Oh? By the way, it's not newer. It's N-U-A. Where's she been?
Do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers.
Agape Church cordially invites you to attend an evening of elegance at the retirement banquet for Bishop Helen McPhee, senior pastor of Agape Church. The event will be held at the Atlantis Grand Ballroom on Friday, August 25th. Cocktail reception at 7 p.m. Dinner is served at 8 p.m. Tickets are $275 and can be purchased at the Agape Church office. For more information, call 328-6937.
Feeling hot? Let this week's specials cool you down at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow Whole Kernel Corn, 15 ounce, $1.19. Hillendale Eggs, extra large, 1 dozen, $2.29. Sweet cantaloupes, $3.99 each. Chicken drumsticks, 89 cents per pound. Coca-Cola soda, 12 ounce, 6-pack, $3.59. Donate your change to help feed the Maine Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Vaccines protect those we love the most, our children and our grandchildren. I vaccinated my children to protect them. Getting your child immunized can protect them against diseases like polio, measles, whooping cough, and others. So protect your child today by getting them immunized. My grandchildren are vaccinated. You should do the same. Vaccinate your children and your grandchildren and make sure they are safe.
Vaccines are essential for new and returning students. As you begin back-to-school preparations, ensure that your children's vaccinations are up to date. All vaccines are available at all public health clinics. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and USAID.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you. At the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Attention, college freshmen! ZNS wants to send you to college with some great prizes. Just WhatsApp a 10-second video of you holding the name of your college or university to 557-3488 by August 21st. Include your name and you are entered to win really big. For more details, go to www.znsbahamas.com/giveaways.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Last week, we introduced you to the Shanghai Singer, one of the many Bahamians making strides over in the Far East. Tonight, our Antoine Smith lets you in on the story of another son of the soil who in 10 years has built quite the life in China.
More than 21 million people today call one of the world's oldest cities home. On that list is Bahamian Radcliffe Nichols Jr.
对，我会说中文。
Okay, what was that?
Yes, I can speak Chinese.
I first caught up with Cliff in Chaoyang Park, a lush area complemented by lakes and greenery in the city of Beijing. The ambiance of the Chinese workers' holiday provided the perfect time to relax and reflect on the past 10 years the English teacher has spent living and working in China.
I came to China in 2013. I initially came here for school. I spent most of my years here in China in school. I did both my bachelor's degree in international economics and trade, and I did my master's in business administration.
And somewhere along, stumbling into teaching, a passion that grew alongside his studies. When he's not in the classroom, it's all about community, friendship, and the bonds that keep him close to home.
From time to time, you see some Bahamians, and they be like, hey, what's going on, bro? What's going on, babe? Everything cool, eh? And then, you know, but you either see Bahamians, and then sometimes, you know, the embassy, they really look out for us. They would, like, host some things sometimes, and they'd make sure that, you know, host, like, meet and greets that we, you know, could meet each other and talk and even, like, have a little sit-down and get some nice Bahamian food in and enjoy yourself.
In this, he admits it's hard sometimes being a world away from the Bahamas, but that's all a part of the journey.
I've grown so much here. I've learned so much. I've done so much. I wouldn't change it for anything.
Encouraging others out there with big dreams to just take the leap.
Try to make sure that you work towards what you want and you go for it, and I think life will take you and God will make sure that He always takes you there.
And Cliff hopes to one day pour his passion into that one place that will forever be called home. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Antoine Smith.
Governor General, His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Cornelius Smith, Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, Opposition Leader Michael Pintard, and former Commissioner of Police Alison Greenslade among the many paying respects to retired Commissioner of Police Paul Farquharson during a viewing at police headquarters Wednesday morning. Joined by the upper echelon of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, mourners honored the life and legacy of the 74-year-old on the eve of his funeral. Prime Minister Davis, who commiserated with Farquharson's family, fondly remembered him as a man who made a mark on law enforcement.
He was the Commissioner of Police when we introduced a program of urban renewal in the inner city to assist in alleviating some of the challenges that our urban centers have. And it won an international acclaim and award for the manner in which it was executed during that period. And he was the consummate police officer. He was always involved in trying to prevent crime, and if he wasn't able to prevent it, detecting it and ensuring that justice is done for all.
Former Commissioner Alison Greenslade says the man he regarded as a mentor took over the helm of the police force coming out of the drug era and was a unifier whose work spoke for itself. Former police officer, now Minister of Labor and Immigration, the Honorable Keith Bell, also spoke highly of the deceased, whose funeral will be held tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Jackson brought unity, brought us all together as a family. He was approachable. One could walk up to him on any given day, ask any question, and would feel quite comfortable in his presence. Always looked out for his officers. You've heard Commissioner Fernando allude to that. And wherever he went, he made it his point to make you feel a part of the team.
As for Paul Farquharson, he distinguished himself as one of the best commissioners this country has ever seen. He pioneered the way, and while BK Barnaby started community policing, it was Paul Farquharson who took it to a whole new level.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
vibrant heart of the Bahamas, a common loftier goal unites us all. A place where love and unity thrive, where world-class technology is accessible and affordable, connecting every generation. We believe in our heritage and the boundless potential that lies within us. We believe in Bahamians.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers. It does not matter
Which of us you choose?
You can pay for goods and services
Wherever sand dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
Exuma's recent flooding, not as distant a memory as some residents there would have hoped. Our Lloyd Allen tonight fills us in with efforts to return things to normal.
This has been a very unusual event for Exuma. We hadn't seen this type of flooding since our experiences with hurricanes and very heavy downfalls.
Several weeks ago, severe flooding hit in parts of Exuma, one of the hardest hit settlements, the Forest. Today, we spoke with one of those residents who is still on the road to recovery and said that she is hopeful that the government's promise of assistance will pan out.
My stove is finished, but I have a portable stove that I use with canned gas. I still have my lights.
Longtime Forest resident Aljamae Bodie says since floodwaters receded, she has faced the difficult reality of first removing damaged furniture and then rebuilding. A saving grace, however, to her home structure, hardwiring installed above standard levels.
I know we live in a flood-prone area. When we got the wiring done, we had the guy put the plugs, the socket, higher than usual.
Bodie is among a number of residents impacted from that rogue downpour. And as you may recall, persons seeking relief were asked to submit claims to the government, including pictures of damage as well as items or appliances lost. She claims the wait continues.
They sent out some papers for us to sign.
The administrator and his team is leading this effort, and we will ensure that through the agencies of government that we'll provide some support. I've already done so personally in some regard, as well as with some of the business community who have risen to the occasion, but we will continue to work with the community.
Member of Parliament for the area and Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Chester Cooper, maintains that relief efforts continue.
The water has substantially subsided except for a few areas. Clearly there are some very low-lying areas in the Hart and Steventon area. And in particular, one resident is still impacted with about a foot of water.
Officials say traditional mitigation methods remain in action, but are citing climate change as a growing and existential threat across the country. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Meantime, that BPL North Andros Station fire still burning a hole in the lives of residents there. A new Providence technical team landed on the island yesterday to fix the power outages in North and Central, and that's been happening even though containerized units were shipped to provide immediate relief. Now, electricity was fully restored Tuesday evening. However, a BPL release acknowledged that further operations are scheduled to improve electricity reliability in North Andros. Meantime, South Andros's primary unit failure a few weeks ago was resolved with temporary generation that was at the time adequate to meet that community's power needs. However, soaring temperatures and a greater power demand surpassed the unit's capacity between 8 p.m. and midnight, causing more supply interruptions. This, coupled with an underwater cable fault this past Monday, that resulted in a prolonged outage for residents south of Central Andros Power Station that was temporarily fixed yesterday. BPL's rerouting a 2-megawatt generator to Central Andros, scheduled to arrive late Thursday, early Friday, to urgently power up that community. Oh, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the prettiest of them all? Well, truth is, down at the Black Point Regatta, there's an annual contest that sees, well, the other side of that fairy tale request. Charles Fisher fills us in.
Ready for some excitement tonight? The trophy up for grabs in the Ugly Man contest. So let's meet the contestants.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great yellow man. Get ugly! Get ugly! Get ugly! Get ugly, boy! Get ugly!
Black Point, the only place in the world where you are paid to be this ugly.
$2 for the first place winner, 2 television, a microwave.
After all that, it was time to announce the winners.
Third place goes to Bush.
Even the judge a little scared to look in his face.
Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, yellow man. $400 for the great yellow man.
And now time for the winner.
All ugly. The ugliest son of a in the entire universe. Ladies and gentlemen, stand up and make some noise for the great silver fox. Silver has to be the ugliest man on this side of God heaven.
So let's hear the champ speak.
Let somebody try.
Somebody that could get ugly.
You tired?
I don't get ugly. I get uglier.
Why you get so ugly though?
I was born a normal child.
Man, I look at Silver just now and I swear.
Somebody to see.
If any two person came together and make Silver, like two real human beings.
I paved the way to do it all the time because I could say I'm not ugly. I am uglier.
Well, congrats. Can't wait to see the contestants beat this next year. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Charles Fisher.
Only Charles Fisher. It's time now for a check on Family Island weather, and for that, return to Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makishna. We have just a few clouds floating around our studios tonight. 87 degrees is the temperature. Relative humidity, 66%. We have east-southeast winds at 4 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,016.3 millibars. That's 30.01 inches. And your temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 88 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Grand Toll Key in Abaco, Marshall Abaco at 87 degrees. Barry Island is 87 as well. Alstown, Bimini, 86 degrees. 88 in Harbor Island, Roxani, Lutra, 86. Black Point, Exuma, and Kemp's Bay, Andros reporting 88. Fresh Creek, Central Andros at 87 degrees. 87s in Otterstown, Cat Island. San Salvador and Rum Key, Georgetown, Exuma, 86. 85 in Ragged Island. Clownstown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and Acklands. Matchitown, Inagua, 84. The Turks and Caicos Islands at 86 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tower King, and the Paint Center. In the northwestern parts of our country tonight, right through Friday, that persistent southeast to south flow will continue at about 10 to 15 knots, but the winds will be falling light and variable at times as well. Wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Low tide 9:57 tonight. You can expect another low tide at 9:52 tomorrow morning. For the central and southeastern islands, also through Friday, southeasterly winds 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet. We will maintain that caution of lag for the central and southeastern islands right through Friday. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
My mommy made sure that I was vaccinated because she loves me.
Getting our precious little ones vaccinated protects them from so many diseases like polio, measles, and whooping cough. Vaccines are safe and effective. Immunizations can prevent illnesses and even death. Vaccines are essential for new and returning students. As you begin back-to-school preparations, ensure that your children's vaccinations are up to date. All vaccines are available at all public health clinics. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and USAID.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Have you ever purchased a defective item and was denied an exchange or cash refund? Contact the Consumer Protection Commission at 393-7795-8 or our 24-hour complaints hotline at 357-7898 and let us help your voice be heard.
Hey, get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
Agape Church cordially invites you to attend an evening of elegance at the retirement banquet for Bishop Helen McPhee, Senior Pastor of Agape Church. The event will be held at the Atlantis Grand Ballroom on Friday, August 25th. Cocktail reception at 7 p.m. Dinner is served at 8 p.m. Tickets are $275 and can be purchased at the Agape Church office. For more information, call 328-6937.
Everyone hates a dead car battery. Why not get a battery that lasts and has a 12-month warranty and is only $64.50? Intercontinental batteries are made with German technology, compatible with Japanese, US, and European vehicles, and adapts to warm climates. All right, good to go. These batteries are high quality, affordable, innovative, and only available at AID. Visit us online or WhatsApp us at 427-0026. AID, all you really need and more.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers. It does not matter
which of us you choose.
You can pay for goods and services
wherever sand dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
All right, welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check Wednesday, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. This is that great time of the year for basketball fans as the annual Summer of Thunder basketball event taking place. For more on that, let's take a closer look. Local basketball fans have been enjoying the Bahamas Basketball Federation Summer of Thunder over the last few weeks, as a number of college and university teams have come to town to play not only each other, but local competition as well. Last night, the action continued at Bahama. Amajal Knowles has the details.
Action continuing in the Bahamas Basketball Federation Summer of Thunder Tournament. The nightcap last evening over the games at Balmar would pit the Penn State Nittany Lions out of the Big Ten against the Nassau Pirates. To the highlights, the Nittany Lions starting things off in transition. Ford Puff Johnson with this tough finish, 2 of his 13 points. He finished with 7 boards as well. Penn State back on the offensive, working the ball on the block. Nick Curran Jr. taking advantage of this mismatch with this nice drop step move. He finished with a team high 17 points. He chipped in with 7 rebounds as well. On the other side, former Tabernacle Baptist Falcon star Josh Dames attacking the basket. He would miss the first attempt, but would be successful on the second for the and one. Penn State wouldn't let up, though. DeMarco Dunn from deep, one of his 3 triples on the night. He finished with 16. Penn State guard Kanye Clary attacking the basket, showing one man shouldn't have all that power with this tough finish. He had 12 points on the night. 5 Nittany Lions would finish in double figures and cruise to the 113-65 win.
I think we did good. Obviously, we want to play to a higher standard. We played a decent team, but we're excited for Thursday and the team we're playing in. It's a new team from last year. It's a whole lot of new pieces. So we just coming out here trying to get adapted to each other and just compete and win.
While it's a business trip for Penn State, they're certainly enjoying some team bonding here in the 242.
My favorite thing is definitely spending time with my teammates. It's definitely a business trip, we're enjoying the casino and the beach and the water slides and everything like that. But we're here for basketball, so. We just been hanging out, it's a beach, pools, a lot of food, different things to do. We just been trying to get it all by the time we're here. After we tried a lot of different foods. We tried Bahamian food last night. I say we all liked it. It's very good.
On the Bahamian side, players like Valentino Simon understand the importance of gaining confidence competing against Division I players.
Well, the defense, I would say it's a lot harder to get buckets on Division I schools, but if you could slip in a couple of buckets, at community college it'll just be a breeze. The level of basketball is way different.
Now games continuing tonight over at Bahama, the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort, as well as the Kendall G. Isaacs Gymnasium. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
Meanwhile, as the Bahamas men's national basketball team now set to play in the FIBA Olympic pre-qualifiers in Argentina, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, weighing in on the addition of Eric Gordon and potentially others to the Bahamas roster.
This is something that was in the making some years ago to try and to get those persons who have ties with the Bahamas to be able to play for the Bahamas. Of course, Eric Gordon, likely Thompson and those would have played for the United States, so definitely it was a process that took some time in order for United States basketball to release them. And since they were able to release them after negotiating over the years, we're just happy. I know they wait till the guys get a little bit older, but they still got some game in them.
With the pre-qualifiers set to begin on Monday, Minister Boleg optimistic of their ability to do well.
I expected to be heading to Argentina to watch these guys play and expect them to move on to the next level and give us an opportunity to qualify for the Olympics.
And finally, one of the country's longtime coaches has fallen on hard times as of late. Charles Fisher tells us more.
His legs all bandaged up. Some bandages and scars we can't show on television. It all started back in October of 2019.
I wake up about 3:30 in the morning, heart attack. And only because of my background in therapy and physical education and knowing the procedure, if you see symptoms, how to execute it, I was able to save myself.
As for his actual diagnosis?
I am having a circulation problem because the heart isn't able to produce the work that it needs to. Actually, when they first did it, they said the heart was only operating at 65%. They wanted to do a medical procedure, but it was very expensive, $13,000. And, you know, that $13,000 I didn't have. So I was just going in for regular treatment, and then it started to produce an extreme amount of fluid in my stomach and swell up my legs. And what has happened is the legs, sometimes because of the bandage, produce blisters. And when the blisters crack, they turn into stores, because I also found out that I'm diabetic.
For a person being involved in at least 7 different sports, this came as a surprise for someone who should be in great health.
I was shocked. And so everybody was else, because they say that's the science. Everybody tell you a heart attack is a science. Believe me, it is. And if it wasn't for, like I say, knowledge of how to do CPR on yourself, I would have been dead.
His hospital visits used to be like once a month, but now that has changed, having just come from visit on Tuesday.
Since the swelling is starting to increase the amount of fluid that stays in my stomach, I have to go and have it pump off, but I only can take off like 2-3 liters at a time, and I have almost 5 to 6 liters in me. I just come back last night, actually, and here it is, it's right back. You know, and I'm scheduled to leave because when the doctor in Cuba saw my pictures and discharge notes, he told me I must get in there as soon as possible.
The pain sometimes unbearable, so he's hoping to get back to some form of normalcy.
Many nights I sit up all night. I can't sleep. You know, you can't lay down because your ears shut off and you feel like you're going to choke because you have, you know, the ability to breathe and you can't. So when I sit like this, it's fine. You know, and then movement. Like from here, it took long to get out of the bedroom here because I got to stop, catch my breath, and then move again.
We'll have much more on Jack's condition in Thursday's edition of Sports. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
And there it is, a check on sports for you this Wednesday. Don't go anywhere. We got to look at the weather just ahead.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
August is a time to celebrate a good harvest, a good summer, and great specials at Super Value and quality supermarkets. Soare's mayonnaise 30 ounce, $4.99. Rainbow corned beef 12 ounce, 2 for $4.78. First choice sugar 4 pounds, $2.50. Sweet strawberries 1 pound, $5.99. Whole chicken wings $1.69 per pound. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and quality supermarkets.
Attention, college freshmen! ZNS wants to send you to college with some great prizes. Just WhatsApp a 10-second video of you holding the name of your college or university to 557-3488 by August 21st. Include your name and you are entered to win really big. For more details, go to www.znsbahamas.com/giveaways.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant here to educate you on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Here's what you don't do. Do not pull up from the pump without first checking that the nozzle has been removed from your car. Because if you pop this, that's about $600,000 to $30,000 to replace. These things ain't cheap. What you want to do is make sure that the nozzle has been removed, or just wait for the universal sign, which is the double tap.
Vaccines protect those we love the most, our children and our grandchildren. I vaccinated my children to protect them. Getting your child immunized can protect them against diseases like polio, measles, whooping cough, and others. So protect your child today by getting them immunized. My grandchildren are vaccinated. You should do the same. Vaccinate your children and your grandchildren and make sure they are safe.
Vaccines are essential for new and returning students. As you begin back-to-school preparations, ensure that your children's vaccinations are up to date. All vaccines are available at all public health clinics. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and USAID.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, the tropics remain quiet this evening, and on the home front, we have that persistent high-pressure ridge across the area will maintain dry conditions for a couple more days. However, we do have this tropical wave approaching the southeast Bahamas, and that will continue to increase the chance of showers and thunderstorms over the southeast Bahamas, including the Turks and Caicos Islands, over the next couple of days. Our forecast for tonight, we're looking at mainly clear and very warm conditions with a low temperature around 81 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and hot. High temperature, 92 degrees, and we're going to keep those heat index in the triple digits. They're going to be around 109 degrees. So a very, very steamy day for you tomorrow. And the next 7 days looking like this. The hot conditions will continue through Friday. We have some cloud cover in the area on Saturday. That will reduce temperatures just briefly. We'll be back into the 90s as we head into Sunday, headed into early part of next week. But come Tuesday, there will be a round of showers and thunderstorms taking place, some of which could be heavy at times. Makisha?
Well, thanks, Basil, and that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. We'll leave you tonight with highlights from last night's Foxhole Day Festival that attracted hundreds of Bahamians, including Foxhole MP, the Honorable Fred Mitchell. The event celebrating the emancipation of slaves and the freedom of equality for all. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
Attention, college freshmen! ZNS wants to send you to college with some great prizes. Just WhatsApp a 10-second video of you holding